Dan, when you look forward, what do you think is next? Who are some names that the Browns still might be bringing in here as free agency kind of drags into its final stages?
Well, I think you always have to keep an eye on the edge rushers out there, but a guy that I'm looking at actually is a cornerback. Now, maybe this is just going to be one of those situations where they address these things in the draft. At some point, you do have to draft guys and put them on your roster and pay them. But one guy that stood out to me this week that the Patriots put a second round tender on is JC Jackson. Really good young corner. He's 25 years old. That's like the age of choice this offseason for Andrew Berry, a guy going into his second contract. And yeah, if I were the Browns and I wanted to really lock down that second corner spot, I would put an offer sheet in front of him and make the Patriots either match it or see if they are really kind of just doing this to get a second round pick out of you. I don't think you're drafting anyone in the low 50s in this draft that's going to be better than what JC Jackson could give you on the outside.
And then there's another interesting name that was just released. Not really an edge rusher, but a guy that can get pressure on the quarterback, Geno Atkins from the Bengals.
Yeah, and Gino, it's interesting as a guy that actually has worked out with Larry Ogunjobi, and I know Larry kind of credits him for the development that he's had. The two really developed a friendship while the Bengals go out and sign Ogunjobi, and now Atkins is a free agent. The Browns are pretty deep on the interior. We talked about that earlier, but if you could bring in another veteran presence, and if he's willing to be a part-time player for you, this is a guy that just shows up and works. He doesn't do interviews. He doesn't cause any trouble. He just shows up, does his job, and plays at a high level. And I think that's the type of person and player that the Browns wouldn't mind having in their organization.